Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! And they are back on terms!
Good evening, welcome to the Rotherham United podcast, the post-match. We're going to go through the Watford game very briefly, have a quick chat about the one or two good points and the rest was difficult to watch. But we'll go through it mixed with us, as you all know. Ben's not with us, but he'll be back for the main podcast, which will be out on Friday morning, probably, something like that. First of all, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. And just so you get the podcast through that way, or follow us on Spotify, whatever, for the actual proper podcast that comes out twice a week. So on the night, 4-1 loss. Tough game, Mick. Very, very, very tough game.
You were just filling there, weren't you? Trying to waste a bit of time, hoping that 20 minutes would be up and we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough watch, weren't it? But it was always going to be a tough watch, and they deserve the win, without a doubt. They are a Premiership side in waiting, aren't they? And we're at the bottom half of the Championship side with half of them missing through COVID and lack of fitness, and injury. So yeah, I mean, it was probably an expected result, really, an expected scoreline as well, I guess.
Yeah, with the confidence they looked like they were in, I suspect, Mick, even if we had a fully fit squad, that would have been an incredibly tough game with the first 11.
Yeah, I think it probably would. They've just got pace all over the pitch, haven't they? They've got pace and quality from right from back to front, except when they brought Andre Gray on, and that sort of brought it down a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, he were garbage, wasn't
The level down a little bit, but
yeah,
I can see why he's not starting.
And I remember when he came with Burnley, when he went on telly once, and him and were it Danny Ings or Sam Vokes or one of them two for Burnley,
yeah,
and they were outstanding, weren't they? They were so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
He looks a complete shadow of his former self, Andre Gray.
He looked a bit of a donkey tonight, didn't he? I guess he's probably out of fitness or what, I don't know, out of touch, but yeah, he looked poor. But I'm clutching at straws now.
Yeah. Feel free to get in touch if you watch on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Just reply to the post, and we'll get your whatever comments you do put on. We'll go through the vast majority of them, if you please. So we're going to start with from Twitter, RUFCS. What do you both make of Blackman? I mean, Mick, before we went live, had a quick chat about this. We've talked to Ben. We know Ben's view on it as well, which will become clear on Friday's podcast. I don't like blaming people. I really don't. But for me, he's at fault for goal number 1 and goal number 4. His positioning for the first goal is neither coming for a cross and he's neither stopped on his line. And the second goal, I think he's made a good save and it should have been offside. And the fourth goal, he's got enough of a hand on it to stop him from going in, but it's just slipped through his hands. And I don't think that's what you should be doing as a keeper. He's got a strong wrist. It's all about having strong wrists. I'm not going to say it's cost us the game. He obviously hasn't cost the game. I would have lost the game anyway. But that, for me, Mick, is the difference between him and Victor Johansson.
There is a difference. There's no doubt about it. I think Victor is a better goalkeeper. He's a stronger goalkeeper, both physically and mentally. Do I blame him for the goals tonight? No, I don't. I don't blame him for any of them, really. Well, let me rephrase that. That's not true. He is as much to blame as the players in front of him for allowing the ball to get to the position where he's got to save it in the first place, with the exception of the second goal, which for me, I might be proved wrong. I was screaming offside. I mean, he looked 3-4 yards offside. We know you don't see a decent angle, do you?
No. I mean, got one, have we?
No, we haven't. No. So yeah. I mean, he could have done better. I accept he could have done better, but so could the 5 or 6 players in front of him. You they're scoring a goal within 30 seconds of us banging one into back at net. That's inexcusable. It's absolutely inexcusable from a defensive point of view under normal circumstances. Let me qualify that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things are different, aren't they, at the moment in terms of fitness levels and everything else. So, I'm sure he'll get slated. I'm sure the knives will be back out for him again as they are every time he concedes a goal. So, it doesn't really matter what we say, does it? Ultimately.
No, that's true. Josh Smith, not a horrific performance today. We could have had 3 goals. Defending and goalkeeping for the goals was pathetic. He puts it, it's probably not far off. He says defence done. It looks like I have zero confidence in Blackman. Hopefully Victor's okay for Saturday. I noticed that as well. I at times, Vicky, when Blackman doesn't come to clean everybody out, if Victor coming for that ball, if it's on the edge of box, your answer's coming that, he's getting everybody. If Vicky's in his way, Icky's going, it's Dan Witt ball. Blackman hasn't got that authority, and he should. He's massive. What is he, 6'5", something like that? He should be going through everybody, and he just doesn't. We've talked in the past about him breaking his leg. I wonder how much of an impact that's had on him. It looks like it's had a massive impact because those little things are the differences between a good keeper and an average keeper.
Yeah, it just screams confidence to me.
Yeah,
the whole of it just screams confidence, and when one squirms out from under his hand like it did for that last one, which he should have been stronger, but it shouldn't have got to him in first place.
Yeah,
so it's like Josh has said there, the defending was just as bad. You know what I mean? It's going to affect his confidence even more. It just screams confidence to me. Hopefully Johansson will be back. Yes,
hopefully. Stephen Adams mentions here, doesn't command his area as well as Johansson. Yeah, that's the big difference between and for their stature-wise, it doesn't make any sense. Johansson's for a keeper's very small. Blackman's massive. It should be all the way around, shouldn't it? Really.
It's psychology, isn't it? It's psychological. Yeah. It's just pure confidence, and Johansson's just like I said before. He's kind of full of himself, isn't he? Not in an arrogant way. He knows what he's capable of, and I think, to be honest with you, I think Blackman's probably forgot what he's capable of.
Possibly, yeah.
Probably through no fault of his own, through this injury that he's had. I'm trying to be kind. I think that's whether I'm right or not, I don't know, but that's how it comes across.
Yeah, he pulled off a couple of other really, really, really good saves. It's when you're playing a team like Watford, you're going to come under a lot of pressure from a keeper. As a keeper at a very low level, all the games I used to love, getting peppered with shots, but it's a great laugh.
Yeah.
Maybe professional football, they might not feel the same way.
Yeah, possibly not.
John C, I thought it was good preparation for Saturday, and it's a great goal from Freddie. Again, something else we talked about before recording, mate. I think Saturday's going to be a different kettle of fish. Although I don't think we're going to be all guns blazing yet, but we're going to be in a much stronger position. We might have 1 or 2 more players back, and the players that play tonight will be in a better position for playing the game, I think. Yeah,
but it's just, again, Saturday's another indication of the way this season's going for us, look-wise, isn't it? And we meeting a team another team with a brand new manager. They've obviously been devoid of confidence right up until last weekend. And then they get a result. So, it was good preparation. It's the first time, and I never thought I'd even say this, that I'm looking forward to an international break, so we can get some normality back. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I agree. We got also to bear in mind that they're playing tomorrow night, Bristol City. So they're playing Wednesday night and going on Saturday. I think they might even be away from home tomorrow. So hopefully they've got a massive trip. I'll have a look now where they are. They're away to Blackburn.
That's all right, isn't it?
An 8 o'clock kickoff. So they'll be in the same boat as we were when we played Bournemouth on that Wednesday night. Not back home till 2 o'clock in the morning. A day's with the rest different, so they've got a slightly better team.
It's nowhere near as long a trip, and they'll probably.
Well, it's still several hours, isn't it?
Helicopters, won't they?
Well, that's true actually. Hopefully that might work in our favour for once. AK92 on YouTube, one was right. Get tonight, Saturday out of the way. Regroup over the international break. Key players back and gives one big push. We'll talk about this in the podcast, Mick, but in Warner's pre-match interview, we were saying that the rehab for the injured players has been delayed because of the shutdown. But you're looking at Chio and Lindsay back in training in 10 days, and he said that yesterday. So there's a very, very good chance that they'll be able to be involved at some sort with the first game after the international break, I would have thought.
Yeah, you would hope so, wouldn't you? You would hope so. Let's just not gloss over what John C said there about that goal from Freddie, by the way.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It was an absolute stunning finish.
Yeah.
It really was. And if he's going to have that confidence, do that all day long for me, mate, because he's going to bang 2 or 3 in. 2 or 3 more throughout season or whatever. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it, because that was a great finish. You look at the goalkeeper's face, you're like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah. We talked on the last podcast about worried that this enforced break had come at a bad time for Freddie, because having scored that wonder goal in such a big game, we were hoping it gives them a boost, and we were worried it might have not. But I thought it was very, very good all round tonight. Even take away his goal, I thought Freddie was very good tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. He put a shift in tonight, Freddie.
Yeah.
Really, really pleased with that performance, and the goal. That was just icing on cake for him in terms of an overall performance for him. Yeah, I thought he did really, really well, and he's starting to stake a claim.
Based on that, he's got to start on Saturday, and based on tonight, he's got to start if somebody's fit.
Yeah, assuming he's fit. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I thought the front three played really well. So him, Smith, and Crooks. I thought Crooks were outstanding tonight. He ran himself into the ground. I know he gave the ball away for a goal or two, but his work rate I thought was outstanding.
Yeah, it was definitely. Can't fault him. I can't fault many of them, to be honest with you. Take it. Particularly if you include, think about the circumstances of surrounding game tonight. I can't fault any of them.
Yeah. Will Daniels, I think we did as much as we could tonight, beaten by the better side, regroup and go again Saturday, take a point. He says he'd take a point down at Bristol, and then have a good go after the international break. Yeah, I'd probably take a point. I'll do some research for the main show, but I think we don't do very well down at Bristol City, as long with everywhere else.
Or is it just your research that's really crap? Because we never seem to have got a good result against anybody.
It's because we never do well at Championship, do we?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. We keep going down.
John Hinchcliffe, Hughes was excellent for them. We were just a bit off the pace tonight. Woody cramp after an hour, and Wiles looked tired. Will Hughes is a quality player. He's a Premier League player. He's not going to play for Man U, but he's very good on the ball.
He's a Championship player. I mean, I'm sure Will Hughes thinks he's a Premier League player. Brilliant Premier League player. That's why he's not playing in Premier League.
You said that. Player. There's a lot of these are Premier League players who are playing in Championship.
Yeah, that's true. Will Hughes isn't one of
them. I think it was telling Mick that Wiles came off so early. Wiles is normally the man that stays on the pitch forever. He was clearly feeling it. Although I thought he played pretty well in that odd position he plays.
Left back?
Left wing back, even though he's a central midfielder and right-footed.
Yeah, I thought he played. I thought he played well. I mean, we started the game off really well, really brightly. But then obviously as soon as they had an attack, that were it. That were end of it. He's obviously been suffering, hasn't he? He's obviously been one of these players that's had it by the looks of it. Yes.
Jason Wick totally agrees about Freddie. Looked good tonight, cracking goal, and looks like he's got his confidence back. It's typical striker behaviour. I know Ben has issues with it, but if there's an area on pitch, there's 2 areas on the pitch which are massively confidence related, and that's goalkeepers and strikers. Midfielders don't necessarily go through confidence patches necessarily. To an extent, they will. But goal scorers are one of the most confidence-driven areas on the entire pitch. And if you go through a spell where you don't believe in yourself anymore, number one, you're not going to score goals, and number two, you're going to be off in every other. It's just the balance is off, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, as a goalkeeper and as a striker, you make a mistake, everybody sees it. As a midfielder, it's accepted that you're going to give the ball away occasionally. all your job is to pass to another player usually. You know what I mean? In general, as a midfielder, you make a mistake as a goalkeeper, you make a mistake as a striker, and everybody sees it.
Yeah.
So it's amplified. So it's not necessarily that midfielders don't have dips in form. It's not as noticeable. That's all. I mean, Barley's has not been brilliant up until last couple of games, and he's starting to come back to the player that we know.
I thought you were excellent tonight, Barley.
Yeah, I thought he was definitely. But you know, there's been a few games certainly recently where he's been a bit anonymous. But he doesn't get the criticism from you know the quarters that Freddie gets it from, that Blackman gets it from, because it's not as noticeable. But it's still a drop off in form.
Yeah,
but it doesn't make him a crap player, does it?
No, I agree. John C on Bristol Saturday says, "Don't forget we beat Bristol City already this season, and we can do it again." On that performance, that was one of our. I know we only won 2-0, but we weren't outstanding, but we completely dominated Bristol City on that day. Yeah, they had no answer for us all, did they?
No, absolutely. So hopefully that's another team we can do double on this season.
Yeah.
You know, we just need to get a few points on the board. We need to get back into that winning mentality. And what's happening off the pitch is nowhere near. Is it helping? Is it? You know what I mean?
No, as it else like.
It's horrendous. It is horrendous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a crazy week and a crazy 18 months, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And all this garbage that you're reading on social media about what an advantage we've got. It's just it beggars belief. Honestly, the more you think about it and the more you look at the set of circumstances, it's bizarre. Anyway.
Yeah.
Social media, isn't it?
Yeah. Austin Richardson, Mick, does Freddie start the next game for you?
Yeah, he's got to, hasn't he? He's got to.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would suggest that probably illness and fitness will dictate that anyway.
Yeah.
But the way he's playing at the moment, and he's scoring for fun, I guess. But not only that, he's putting that graft in. So whatever he's doing both of those things, he starts. Definitely.
I agree.
For me, anyway.
But
I'm not picking team, though.
No, that's true. Smithy missed the penalty tonight. Do you lay? It was a pretty good save. Do you lay anything at his door on that point for that? How much criticism do you give him for missing the penalty?
It was justice, weren't it?
It were never a penalty in a million years, were it?
If
never.
That was a penalty, then we might as well stop playing football altogether, haven't we? I mean, we talked about this before coming on air, and you know, it's not a penalty. Definitely not a penalty. From the resulting corner, Woody's shirt being ragged off his back. Now that were a penalty, but you know, now he should score it, shouldn't he? It's a penalty, but like I said, it'll probably justice in the end. Yeah,
it probably will. ONOB, how much does tax cost for Rotherham to London? And I thought we played well considering not training, but let's hope we have a good go at it Saturday. I think training, you could tell from set pieces. Was what we talked about before we went live. It was very obvious that their movement from set pieces we couldn't deal with, and that's an area you need to train, be able to train into a team for at least a session or two with the training, don't you?
Up to a point, but when you've got a team of sort of 8 or 9 Usain Bolts in there, you can say what you want, you know what I mean? But they're just going to leave you for dead, and they've got so much pace.
They did the dirty tricks at corners. I don't know if you noticed where Freddie's trying to mark his man, and somebody else has grabbed Freddie, so man's free. Yeah. I mean, if you get away with it, I'm not going to say I like it, but if it works for you.
If it works. I thought the referee had a good game tonight. Personally, just talking about things like that, I thought he didn't give any of these stupid little, half a little nudge it back and everybody goes flying. Yeah. He gave none of them, and there were a couple, which certainly Crooksy in the second half got one in back, and I went over not having it. I like that. I like that from a referee. Pretty positive. I don't think he booked anybody all night.
No, I think so.
I think there could have been. I think Crooksy could have been booked, probably a couple of times. So yeah, I thought just apart from the penalty, which I think the linesman gave anyway. But yeah.
Yeah. Matthew Hepsonall, let's forget about Saturday tonight and look forward to Saturday. go again. Stuart Marsh, when we got possession, we gave it away far too easily. Crooks and Wiles, worst culprits for that. And he thinks, again, justice was done with the penalty. Yeah, it's a bit of I think Crooks, obviously, with the second goal, gave it away very, very easily. He had a couple of opportunities to get it in a safe position, and it's ended up costing us, which is frustrating. The last thing we needed to do in those circumstances was put ourselves under more pressure. Unfortunately, we put ourselves under more pressure. But that's...
Sorry.
Go on.
We've talked about this before, haven't we? And we don't keep the ball well enough, and it's because there's not enough movement off the ball. And I don't know whether that's because of the shape that we play or what. I don't know, but there's not enough options for the player with the ball because the movement's not there. And that's obviously something that they need to work on. We have periods, don't we, where we can knock it about really, really well. But that's only because they kind of remember that they've got to find some space and give players options. So keeping the ball has been an issue for us this season, definitely. But has that got something to do with the way we play? The high press and everything else.
Possibly.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Don't know. You might be on something. You might be on something. You might not.
I'll get one of you when he's at home.
It's been tough. It was a very tough game. First half in particular was tough to watch because we were outclassed. I think Watford took the foot off the gas massively in the second half. I think we played much better, but I think they allowed us to play a bit better than that. And then as soon as we get a goal, they go to the other end and put a bit of pressure on again.
Yeah. Just get us straight back, don't they?
Stephen Hales in the first half, there was a handball shout. I think it was the very end of the first half. It was soft. I would, if that was given against us, I would have been very unhappy.
Yeah, it did. I thought my initial thought was handball, definitely. Then when you look at it, and the way it came off the way it rebounded off him, had to be off something pretty hard, like a shoulder.
Yeah.
Because it came off at such an angle, so. Maybe it weren't. Referee were pretty much on the spot with it. To be fair, and he gave most of the other things all night. So, including a penalty that weren't one. So, although that obviously linesman gave that, the one that didn't see offside for the second goal.
Yes. I finally make on Watford. How highly do you rate them based on what you've said? I know it's difficult to say, bearing in mind our team and everything else. But based on who we've seen this season, how highly do you rate them as a championship team?
I don't rate them as highly as some I've seen, I don't think. But I think we've probably just seen them on off days rather than anything else. They've certainly got a massive amount of quality in that squad, and a huge amount of quality. And I think they probably will go up with Norwich.
They've got momentum, haven't they?
Yeah, and to be fair, as long as we can stay up, good riddance to them. We don't want teams like that in this division. We don't, do we? You know what I mean?
No.
So I think they will probably go up with Norwich.
On other teams around us, Coventry lost tonight, 2-0 away to Luton. Derby were 2-0 down to Brentford. And Brentford managed to. I'm not giving Derby any credit. I'm going to say Brentford threw it away and drew 2-2. It's about the time of the season where Brentford have a bit of a blip in it.
Yeah, they're doing a derby, aren't they? Brentford are going to be another derby.
Yeah,
quite clearly. They're going to get to playoffs for 3 or 4 seasons and bottle it in every one of them, and then they're just going to drop down the league like a stone. That seems to be. They seem to have taken over Derby's mantle of bottlers.
It seems that way.
In which case, when we play them down in their place, it should be a 3-apiece draw, shouldn't it?
By the time we play them again, they'll have sorted everything out. They'll be back in form by then.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So it works.
Yeah.
Last comment. John C. Lewis Ring was there was a definite miss tonight. It hope starts Saturday. Yeah, it was very noticeable that he didn't play. He wasn't in the squad, so I would assume at best he'll be on bench for Saturday. Hopefully. We were short on midfielders. Other than 3 midfielders on pitch. Well, yeah, that's true. Good point.
I did think Sadler looked really good when he came on.
Yes,
Sadler looks really, really dangerous. And
Giles were quiet again, though, wasn't
he? Yeah, he was a little bit. Yeah, but he did his job. I think his job was to defend rather than to come marauding down that wing. For me, Sadler gets a start at some stage very soon. He looks a very, very dangerous player. So, but anyway.
I agree. I completely agree. I wouldn't be surprised to see it a shake-up again on Saturday. Depends on everything, who's available and everything else. So we're going to finish there. We'll be back Friday morning for the podcast. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done already. Go over to YouTube, click the subscribe button. We would really, really appreciate that. And make sure you follow us on Twitter and Facebook as well. And
YouTube, it's down there now, right in that bottom corner. You can click it while you're still watching.
Yeah, but if you're not on YouTube, what he's just pointed out, there's nothing there, so don't worry about it.
If you're not on YouTube, don't do it because it won't be there.
No, click all you want, not will happen. So thank you very much, Mick.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure talking, reliving that 4-1 defeat. Cheers.
Really?
We're going to do it again for Friday morning, so get ready.
Oh, God, great. I'm looking forward to it now.
So yeah, please subscribe to the iTunes as well if you want an audio only podcast. Subscribe on iTunes or Spotify. Follow us on there because you'll see that on there. We'll be back Friday morning, as I've already said, and then international break coming up, so we'll all have a bit of time off for that one. So yeah, thank you everybody, and we'll see you all very, very soon.
Pringle looking towards Odegaard. Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant!